Hello, can everyone on the call hear me? If you can, just send a message to the chat window. Can everyone on the line hear me? So if everyone on the line, your phones are muted, so if you could just respond in the chat window for the GoToWebinar, that would be great. I'm just going to do a quick little audio test before we get started. Excellent. Good deal. So I will go ahead and share my screen. You guys can confirm that you can see my screen. All righty, so we're going to go ahead and get started. For those of you that are here, you either saw a post on Indeed or Dice or Craigslist or something talking about IBG and training and hiring. So a number of you have come up with some questions regarding what we do and what we're all about, and typically this is something that we do prior to starting a new wave of students. So basically, you're going to get a rundown of what we do, what we're all about, how this process works, and then determine whether or not you want to do it. There's a little bit of time that we allow you to take to figure things out. But ultimately, the goal is to create really good engineers and capitalize off the fact that, there really isn't any other entity out there that's successfully creating great engineers and plugging them directly into gainful IT employment. So without further ado, we'll go ahead and get started. Welcome to the training and hiring program. We're going to talk about what we do and the logistics of the program. Quick overview of who we are. We're IBG Global Consulting. We own the IBG Institute, as well as IBG Mobile and a couple of other subsidiary companies. Founded in 2008, we are headquartered in Charlotte. At the core, we're a software development company, but we do a lot of managed consulting and all those other cool things. We are not really a staffing company, but we do staff resources and help folks get into jobs. Software development wise, we've got literally hundreds and hundreds of projects under our belts, internal and external, and we try to stay pretty diverse in the types of things that we work on. Full service IT, staffing, consulting, and education firm. I mentioned the software development side. We have a very unique engineer development strategy, and we also have a full IT skills university at the IBG Institute. Many of you that are here may, perhaps have registered for the training at the IBG Institute. So now let's talk about what's going on in the world and the reason why some of us are here. One, today's technical schools do not cut the mustard. They flat out don't. They generally have students that come out with stale skills. They don't really fit in too well with the marketplace. They come out with a lot of debt. In a lot of cases, they don't end up getting the jobs that they thought would be available when they started their tech school or college training. So we've learned pretty quickly, just based off of all the projects and all the work that we've done, that you essentially need professionals to run the training. You need an experienced, knowledgeable, current, relevant, and employed perhaps employ an engineer to help run the training. And it needs to be more vocational. It needs to be a training that a program takes individuals from start to finish, little or no experience, all the way through to working. And it's our responsibility to facilitate that entire process. So our goal is to help improve the skills gap. There's a major skills gap out there. There are millions of IT jobs open, and they can't get filled. They simply cannot get filled because people don't know where to go to get training. When they find the place to go to get training, it costs too much. And a lot of folks just don't even have someone to guide them through the process. Which skills are hot? Which skills do the big businesses want? And as trends change, how do I stay on top of those key in-demand technologies? We've also learned that the best ones to teach are the ones that are top performers in the field. So here are the areas of our expertise: software development, systems admin. Some of these may not mean anything to you, but we'll go into detail about what some of these mean. We do general IT staffing, and we do engineering project management, and lots of mobile, tons of mobile application development for various clients, large and small. So how do we do things differently? Number one, and before I mention this, we're going to talk about why we are different, and also how we use that difference to facilitate the whole training and development process and help people get in jobs really quickly. Why are we different? We understand the needs of today's IT engineers because we get the job requirements immediately. As soon as a job requirement pops up at Bank of America in San Francisco, we see it. We see hundreds of thousands of jobs a week opening and closing, and we're able to trend across those jobs to find out what skills are coming up, what skills are phasing out, what skills are hot, and what skills are relevant. And then we're able to take that training, that knowledge, and convert it into relevant training that will help an individual get a great job as soon as they're completed. So that's the difference. We're not just a training institute that's just out there training on technologies. We're actually a full-blown managed consulting and staffing company that knows and sees all of these jobs come out in real time. So we tailor our training to the trend of jobs that come out. Now, what happens if you go through our training program and then you get a job? We really encourage you, almost require you to continue to train on our program. Why? Because skills get stale quickly, and you really need to stay on top of the technological currents out there in order to stay relevant. So we want you to stay relevant, and we're going to show you how to do that, even after you've gotten on a job. So what's going on in our economy? Really quickly. And this presentation will probably be about 15 minutes longer. What's going on now? Companies are firing. Manual labor companies are hiring technical workers, skilled workers, skilled engineers. There's 3.5 million jobs that are open and waiting. A lot of these jobs can't get filled. Companies are desperate. They try to go to India and China, and then they get all these tax penalties and stuff like that. But they still do it because there are not enough good enough engineers in the United States whatsoever. The biggest concern of every Fortune 500 company is, where is the technical talent and how do I get to it? Companies will literally move their headquarters to a place where there's better talent. It's happening all over the country now. Everyone's looking for technical talent. They can't find it. I mean, there's only but so much technical talent in Silicon Valley that you can chase after. So the degree is becoming less of a big deal. Now, a lot of tech companies don't even care if you have a degree. Can you solve this programming problem? Can you answer a question that I have about Android and intents, and permissions. Can you answer this question? Can you demonstrate that you know something that you can apply hands-on and create results? That's all most of today's economy cares about. Yes, icing on the cake if you have a good degree and a good pedigree, but those types of things are not going to get you in jobs anymore. It's hard, demonstrable, technical skill that's going to get you in the door. Okay, so that's the reality of the situation. That's where we are now. Yes, there are other jobs out there that are non-technical, but we don't care about those. We care about IT tech jobs, particularly in the mobile space, which is ironically enough the #1 career that you can have in the United States: software developer or mobile engineer. These jobs pay great. If you're not that good at it, it's hard work. If you're good at it, it's easy work, and most of them pay really, really well. Our education systems are failing. College, few question marks there. If you're not going into college for the right things, it's becoming more of a social experiment. I'm not knocking college at all. I went to Duke undergrad, had a blast, but unfortunately, even through the comp sci program, I did not get the adequate skills. I did not get the training that I needed to survive in the marketplace. So that's kind of where we are now. You can come from a great school, you can have a great degree and a great GPA, but there's still question marks as to whether or not you're truly prepared to enter the workforce and do well. So we recognize this problem at IBG. The other problem is that professional IT training is extremely expensive. You really want to get in there and get going with no help and no one pulling you through, you're going to pay a whopping $5,000 to $6,000 a week for instructor-aided courses and even online courses in the technologies that we're talking about now. Very intense stuff. And even then, when you do that training, there's no guarantee that you're going to even retain what you've learned. They throw so much information at you. Now, the great thing about all this training is that when you complete it, you can make a lot of money. I mean, it's hard work, but nothing is worthwhile isn't. And you can make a very good salary for a long period of time. And as you continue to improve your own skill sets in certain aspects of technology, software development, you're going to get paid more and more. That's just the reality of the situation because of the problem that I mentioned in the beginning, that there's a major shortage of engineers. So if everyone's listening, can you guys throw something in the chat? Does this make sense so far? Make sense? Got it? Got it. I'm sure I'm not lying to anybody. I'm sure many of you understand this to some degree. It's the reality of the situation, but there's a silver lining to this cloud. Here's what's going on, and here's our philosophy. Number one, there's a lot of programming activity out there, and most of these companies are starting to realize that they are software companies. If they have a website, if they have a social media profile, if they're running Google AdWords, if they are using software to run their payroll, if they're using software to run their core business, if they have mobile apps, they're software companies. You might be out there selling, selling smoothies, but if you're doing it and you have an e-commerce system that processes payments and an HR system and other back-end office software, that company is effectively a software company. Believe it or not, because if those systems go down, what's going to happen? The business is going to struggle. So what's happening right now is companies large and small are starting to realize that they actually are software companies to some extent, to the extent that at which they need to start to leverage different software solutions so that they can put themselves ahead of their competitors, right? And if they don't do it, their competitors will. So what's our philosophy? Number one, there are a lot of programming languages out there, but we believe that Java runs the world. It's everywhere. There are 3 plus, now almost 4 billion connected devices running in Java. That's going to triple over the next 5 to 6 years. This is really just the beginning. We are in the middle of a massive shift into information technology, data-based information technology and big data, and movement from manual to automation manual to automation. And there are lots of major movements going into the technology and software space. Companies are starting to realize that if they don't innovate internally with new software that's proprietary, they're going to die, because some upstart is going to do things better than them and steal all their market share because they're able to leverage technology in a more agile and efficient way. So, that being said, what we're doing is not really a coding boot camp. It's more about a preparation process. We are preparing individuals that participate to move right into the type of jobs that are out there in the field. For instance, if you want to be an electrician, what would you do? You'd probably hang out with other electricians that are doing well. Same thing with plumbing. More vocational. You're probably not going to go to school to be a plumber. You're probably not going to go to some institute. You're going to hang out with other people and cut your teeth on that experience. That's kind of what we do. So at the end of the day, we're going to show you what you need to know in order to excel in a particular area of technology. And we also underscore the fact that you have to be good. There are no shortcuts in this game. Very few shortcuts in life that end up in something good. You must be good. You must be willing to do what it takes to make yourself good, regardless of what those limitations are. You must make the first step to say, hey, I'm going to make myself the best engineer I possibly can be, and I'm going to make sure I don't stay confused on the same thing every day. I'm going to stretch myself and grow. So now let's get into the meat of it. The training, 4 to 6 months. We're going to do a training and hiring program. We've done, this is our 13th wave. We've been doing this for quite some time now. Mobile training and hiring program, 4 to 6 months. What does that mean? 4 to 6 months, you're going to get the skills that you need from a Java and Android perspective to become a threat and actually do some real legitimate Android software development work. We're going to get you all the skills you need to become a great mobile engineer. We can lead you to water, but we can't make you drink. We expect that you're going to drink because you understand the opportunity, and it's our job to impart on you the data that you need to know in order to succeed. That being said, Android is our focus. We've got live lectures and multiple assignments, mobile certification at the end, and then that moves right into job placement. So how do we operate? Mobile training and hiring program. You don't have to pay anything for it. We're going to train you for 4 to 6 months, pretty much guaranteed that you get a job. But then once you get a job, you are an exclusive contractor to IBG for a period of time. If you don't want to be exclusive, then other arrangements are made. But basically, we make the decision to pour into you guys up front. We say, hey, some people might disappear, but for most intents and purposes, people are good. And they want to do better for themselves. So we are going to lower that threshold. You don't even have to pay $3.49. You don't have to pay $1.99. You don't have to pay 99 cents. But you do have to commit. So if you're going to commit, then we are going to commit to training you and giving you all the resources you need to succeed. What are the requirements? We'll talk about some of those in a second, but philosophy-wise, this is where they typically, folks will typically go down into the details of what is being taught. I'm going to say that what we do is we teach you to become a really good Android developer or iOS developer in this particular wave of the class. We're not going to publish any syllabus. You will not see a syllabus. You will not see anything regarding our process and how we do it. We have a very experience-based process that we execute that's been extremely successful. And we're not going to spell that stuff out in documents that will now be floating around on the internet for other people to leverage. It's kind of part of our proprietary platform. Make sense? How's everybody doing? Check in. Okay, I see some questions coming up. That's good. So let's continue to go through this. Now, what's going to happen? We're going to train you. We're going to take you through the steps you need to be taken through from a Java and Android perspective and software development perspective, as well as professional skills development perspective if you need more time. And we are going to get you the skills that you need and set up your interviews either with us internally, IBG, or with one of the entities that we work with. It could be any of over 1,000 different companies out there, all of which need mobile developers. And we're going to get you the skills you need to succeed. You guys sign an agreement saying that you're willing, you want to, you accept the fact that you are going to be trained by us indefinitely until you're ready to go. We absorb the expense of doing so because we genuinely believe in the good in people, and we believe that they want to do better. So we will. There's no charge or anything up front. You don't really have to do anything until anything besides execute on the assignments that we provide. All right. There's very, very little guesswork. You have a couple of options that could happen once you complete. You could end up being a contractor somewhere else at another company, but you'd still be through IBG, or IBG will hire you directly. So one of the two things is always going to happen. All right. So hopefully that makes a lot of sense to you. Requirements. What are the requirements? Windows, Mac with at least 8 gigabytes of RAM. You want to get rolling and you want to do it the right way. You need a Windows or Mac computer with at least 8 gigabytes of RAM. You need an internet connection, of course. Access to YouTube, that's very important. If you have an internet connection, you can usually get to YouTube. And over the course of the 4 to 6 months, you might need $50 to buy specific Udemy classes that we say to jump into, just buying random stuff. But it's not going to cost any real amount of money to get going. So, what is the structure of class? We'll go into that in a second. Miscellaneous stuff. Facebook is our bulletin board. We like to blast out notifications and things like that on Facebook. We also use another system called Piazza. Piazza is a class forum where everyone that's in the class can collaborate. We are a collaborative environment. We don't want anyone isolated in a shell, because if you're isolated in a shell with a technical issue, it could take you weeks to address it. But if you're not, and you're actually out there talking and communicating to people, you can get these issues addressed in minutes, just because you know what resources to tap. There's a big difference between those two. In-depth technical collaboration, that's what Piazza is for. It's not going to be easy. This process is not easy, especially if you've not been exposed to programming, but it's very doable. We have tons of individuals that start out with no skills and no college education. They're doing great at senior engineering. So the process works. It's not about failure, it's about execution and persistence. You have to, despite the complexity of some of the material that you're going to get, you have to commit to persevering through it. That's it. It might take you longer than the other person. It might take you less time than the other person. Doesn't matter. It's all about execution and persistence. Details on the class. The average class will be about an hour long, which we'll devote 30 to 40 minutes to lecture, and the rest of the time will be in-class assignments. You'll be programming and writing things every single week. Get an accountability partner. It's always a good thing because they can help you kind of push through some of this complexity and, honestly, some of the confusion. When you first start this program, this training program, you're going to be a little bit confused, and we expect that to happen. So, class formats. Lecture happens twice a week, Tuesday and Thursdays. We can flex those dates based upon what the class believes works the best. There's 2 exams that happen per month, 15 to 20 assignments per month. And you submit all of your assignments online, generally through the Piazza. A few key pieces regarding the class. We always provide this advice slide. Number 1, don't get discouraged. It should be treated as if it's a new language that you're learning, like Japanese or something. Keep exposing yourself to the material, and eventually you will absorb and internalize this stuff. You will get frustrated, is what I mentioned. You keep pushing and do not quit. Really, these are the prerequisites. This is the type of stuff that we want to see. The other thing is you want to use Google and YouTube as much as possible. They are your friends, and also use your other classmates to help. There's a no failure setup here. No failure. You might not get something right, but there's no reason for you to chalk it up and say I failed at all. We're anti-failure. So I see some questions popping up. As soon as I'm done with this deck, I'm going to go answer all the questions. Enrollment. How do you get in? Enrollment at ibgsoftware.com. You fill out, you will get some forms that you need to sign, and an agreement. Class will be open for 1.5 weeks, and then the enrollment period is closed after the 1.5 weeks is up. So that's it in a nutshell. Here are our contact, kind of our contact information. You can connect with any one of these entities to get more details on the class and what's going on. Now, let's see here. Let's answer some of these questions. First of all, this is just an introductory session. We are going to start up most likely at the top of the week. If you know someone that either wants to be an accountability partner or enroll with you, again, this is no charge. This is no charge up front. We want you to get through, and we want to make impact, right? But at the same time, we do want you working. So we do want you making money. So questions are, let's see here. So are we going to, Denzel, are we going to be hired to IBG? In some cases, yes. It just really depends on the flow of work that comes through. You might end up being contracted to another entity through IBG, or you might be working directly with us. Good. Yes, this is excellent. Looking forward to being part of the team. So if we are contracted through you, does it mean? Okay, got it. So this is a good question. Sometimes we do control the paycheck, and then we pay you the difference or whatever, and pay you what you're supposed to be paid. And other times, we don't. So those are arrangements that are made, right? It's really just a matter of the situation and scenario. If I don't get hired by IBG, do you have to pay the tuition back? Now, if you don't get hired by IBG, now it's very well possible that you can get deployed to another project. So no, you don't have to pay it back. We encourage those folks to continue to train, because eventually there's going to be a hire that happens. So you don't walk around with your tail between your legs. You actually get to work and stay at work, right? so that you can consistently improve yourself and make yourself more valuable to the next opportunity. Question. So this is from Ambuj. I applied for iOS remote contract because I have already extensive iOS experience. I was told to expend seminar. What will the process be? Okay, got it. If you already have the training, then you're gonna, and we know it. If you already have the skills, we look at your profile and we see it. Then you will be in the pipeline for the hiring pipeline for IBG and some of the things that we do. If you're extensive on the iOS side, we definitely want to talk to you. So make sure we have all your information, because if you have the skills already, then our recruitment staff will move right into getting you deployed. That's what this is all about. At what point is the contract for 3 years signed? Now or after training? No, you sign it before the training. So there's a preliminary period of about a week and a half where you figure things out. You attend some seminars and make sure it's right for you. Then you sign the contract, and we essentially commit to training you until you're ready. Even if it's over 2 years, we will continue to train you until you get into something. Indian, if I'm interested, will I be accepted? Work visa. I think that's definitely feasible. So that is a conversation. That's a conversation that I need to have with our legal to make sure that we can accommodate that. But I will find out more information on it. Will lectures be videoed or recorded? Yes. All the lectures will be recorded and they will be uploaded to YouTube on a private link. So everyone is in part of the class will get an invite and they'll be able to see it. Denzel, are the classes online? Yes. The format is online. You will log in through a GoToWebinar, similar to what you're in right now. And then, the session will open and then you do the same things. So, and yes, all the classes they're kind of online. We give you lots of work that's online in YouTube's, but the lecture itself is not. So Malin, this is for jobs. So there are lots of jobs open. We are part of this process is to get people to the point where they can actually get some of these jobs and keep them. For those who already have a degree in this field, how would we continue with this? If you already have the skill set, then you're automatically going to get pulled into the recruitment pipeline, which I think you probably are used to some extent. If you already have a degree, we need to know where it is. We need to know what kind of degree you have. We need to know if it's still relevant. We need to know if it's still respected by the marketplace. We need to know what kind of economic opportunities connected to that. So there's a lot of things. We still need to learn some more information. What if the training is not finished? This is Ricardo. What if the training is not finished, but something goes up in one's life and training can be, okay, got it. So life happens. We know that. We understand that. We're not going to keep you on this regimented schedule like this. The main thing is, if you can't finish it, then you just pause. We're not going to get rid of you. We're not going to fail you out or anything like that. You just pause and go do your thing and come back. There might be another completely different group of people, but you can always come back. We can always come back. If hired by IBG, it depends on the structure of your deal. If you're hired by IBG, what is the contract period? That's on a case by case thing. It's still from a responsibility perspective, we'd like for it to be 3 years, but that's not always a reality. So we have to work on it on a case by case basis. Mega, if other companies, what is the contract period? That's 3 years. So we train you indefinitely until you get it to your expert level, near expert level, and then we deploy it. Other companies, the contract period. Hold on 1 second. Yeah, 3 years. It's a number. I know how to fix broken screens on iOS devices. Would that be considered experience? Not in the game that we play, which is software development and mobile development. There might be some overlap there, but really it's just about building solutions. Jamal had a question. Can you elaborate on the program for students between? Yes, absolutely. So for select individuals that are doing well in the class, we do extend and offer them paid training work. So that's a big deal. Lectures time start at 8:30 p.m. Eastern time. Usually it's 8:30. Yes, Peter. Okay, so that's right. So Siddharth is back. Siddharth is in one of the other classes, and he's completed. Let's see here, Jason. Annual salary starting off. It really depends on the timing and when things go. I mean, if you started last year, now the jobs are really starting to open up. So if you started towards the end of last year, you're really just coming out of the pipeline and basically getting to the point where you can start interview. Some of our individuals in previous classes are just starting to get into interviews now, but the learning curve is high. Once you get past it and get it, then you'll be well on your way to getting a good job. Learning curve for someone with no experience, it can be high at times, but we expect that you're going to do the supplementary work in order to bridge the gap. What does the pay look like? It might take a little while to get into something, but generally the pay can go anywhere from $70,000 to $120,000 a year. How can I make up for a missed class? You can get access to a link, or the notes from another classmate regarding what happened. Will there be opportunities to work remotely if hired? Yes. It just depends on what's around when you do that. Start looking. Are there any alumni working in Charlotte at this time that we can reach out to if we get stuck with the material? Yes, there are. The question, this is not paid training. No, so if for the 4 to 6 months, we do select a certain set of individuals. This is a different training than our 1 month quick boot camp. This is a 4 to 6 month training that guarantees that you're going to get all the way through, and we compensate you at some point. If you are doing extremely well and doing what you're supposed to be doing, we do extend out and offer a select set of individuals paid training before they complete. Yes. So Siddharth, you're going to have someone named Kevin get a hold of you to talk about that. One of the students that's in here now completed the 1 month program, and he's prepping for interview. So I've gone through as many of the questions as I possibly could at this point. It took a little while, but what you're going to do is you're going to email Brooke at IBG Software or Enrollment at IBG Software. I would say go ahead and email enrollment and express interest if you're interested. We have a class that's going to start at the top of next week. So we'd love for you to be involved in it. If you know other people that might be interested, then get them involved too. That's pretty much it. So we are training and hiring engineers. Hope you guys got a lot of information out of this. Please feel free to spread the information and kind of let other people know about what's going on. And what we'll do from a timing perspective is we're going to set the time for the next session, which will be on the 19th. So you're going to get some correspondence regarding all of this stuff, and the most important thing for you all to do is figure out, what the direction is. Do you want to get into technology and software development or something else? So ask yourself those real questions and get back to us. I mean, either way, it's important that we're able to at least interact with folks, as we grow. So yeah, we'll talk offline. But Kevin should be giving you a call sometime tomorrow afternoon. Okay, so I'm seeing other comments. So if you guys are offering this for free, seems like my best bet. Well, yeah, I mean, it's really, you have to make a commitment. You'd have to make a commitment to the program, right? It's not as accelerative and aggressive as the 4-week, but it goes longer. So we're making a longer-term commitment to you guys, bringing you in as an intern, perhaps, or an apprentice, and then moving forward that way. Yes, Siddharth. Kevin will call you on that number tomorrow. The primary point for questions about the program is enrollment at ibgsoftware.com. You can also email jwall, JWALL, at ibgsoftware.com. Yes, this will get you a certain degree of experience in the field. When you send the email to enroll, do we just say that we are wanting to enroll in the program? That's correct. Siddharth, he'll call you roughly around 4:30 Eastern time. Excellent. So yeah, so there's definitely folks that are interested. It's just a matter of getting engaged and getting going. So this is all of our information right here. Please jot it down. I'll throw it in the chat, in fact. Oops. So you guys always have it. There we go. Got it. Excellent. So all the contact information is here. You also get an email with details on the contact information. Do your research. Look around. And we're confident that what we deliver is far superior, very immersive, and it's kind of no nonsense. You either know it or you don't. Nothing in between. So that's our philosophy. We're looking forward to imparting and spreading that to the world. And we hope that you had a good evening going through this process and this information with us, send the email of interest to enrollment@ibgsoftware.com, and we will circle back as quickly as possible with details on everything. No, that's not Kevin's numbers that are. But we will talk about that. I'll talk about some of that stuff offline. All right, guys. We do have a recording of this that will get uploaded to the YouTube, so you guys can get a link and watch it, or show it to someone else. We encourage you to continue to develop yourself all the time. All right. Excellent. Want to see all y'all here next week when this thing starts. Do what you got to do in email enrollment. Email one of us, and we'll get the ball rolling. Thanks for y'all's time. See you guys hopefully on Monday or Tuesday. Bye.